And then I'll go ahead and go to Facebook. So I don't need that pulled up. I got this.
Oh, shoot. Pull this stuff out my computer. Oh, well. You want me to be quiet, Erica?
Yeah, well, we're about to start. I mean, unless you just want, to be like comic relief or something. I don't know.
No. I just gonna say I found my friend Maxine. That's all.
Okay, super. We hadn't started yet. I'm about to start now, though. I'm working on it. So if you all get to the point, I'll stop at the end of every slide, and if you want to say something, or bring up something like an epiphany, maybe we will do that at the end, or you could type it in the chat, and then at the end we can discuss whatever points that you would like to maybe ask a question about, or that that like, oh my God, this is what I found useful. Because this is not going to be the class. This is the overview. This is like what I would do if I was just going to a public speaking engagement and I was just talking about vision boards. But the actual class comes with a book, and so it will be a little bit different. Okay. Oh, it'll be a lot different. Actually, it'd be more extensive. And then I would go over, I usually hand out lists so that people can fill them out and actually jog their mind to set goals. It starts, 2 people just joined and we're in the middle. Okay, so I'm about to share it, but someone else just joined, so we want to get them in. Okay, I'll probably just mute all, but at that point, when I'm towards the end, I'll open it up so people can, maybe there's a slide that stood out or something you want to go back to, maybe you want to ask a question about, or something you want to discuss, and at the end, then I will go back to that, okay? So I'm gonna put everybody on mute now. Mute all, yes. Allow them to mute themselves, and I'll continue. We're about to go live now. Well, what are you laughing about? Get in the middle of laughing in the middle of the... You're freaking hilarious, dude. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I want to share it. Share now with friends. Now it's on my page, so if anybody wants to share from here, it's got me rolling my eyes like, why is he laughing in the corner? Anyway. All right. I think, I'm gonna unmute. I'm so glad you guys are here. Tonight, we're gonna talk about vision boards with passion and purpose. We're gonna do an overview on vision boards to discuss the class. There's a book and there's a class. This is just an overview, but you can gain a lot just from this overview on how to get your vision board started. And if you'd like, there is gonna be an online class. The first, I wanted to start with something I had a discussion with people about tonight. It was just beautiful. We've been through a lot in the last year, but just in life in general. So I'm looking for this, so forgive me for looking off to the side. And I was talking to a friend of mine about this class and why it was so important, but as we move forward now in this next, what I see as the golden age, it's already been declared as the golden age. There's a lot of healing that's been done in the past for us moving forward. You know, there's a lot of healing that's already been done. So I like to explain it like this: like you can kind of grow up having a broken heart, having a kind of a broken heart, and then you meet people along the way of your journey, and they help heal maybe one shard at a time. And over your lifetime, you end up collecting these people that they become your soul family. And sometimes their relationships expire, and or sometimes you keep them in your life forever. But you'll always cherish what they did for you. Like one thing about me even doing this class or even doing a Facebook Live, you would not believe that when I was in middle school, elementary school, even high school, I hated raising my hand. I hated answering questions in class. I even laughing, I would cover my mouth when I laughed because I was, that's just, I was raised in a way or treated in such a way that I was very, very insecure. You know, some people go to school for the bullies, but, I had bullying in my home. So, sometimes the people that are supposed to be loving you, they're not they're actually hurting you. And so over time, there's certain people, like I can remember people like Marlene. She's always, on my posts, always speaking up. And she was one of those people that one time she dedicated a song to me. She dedicated the song, I Hope You Dance. Like, that's very powerful. There's certain people, like I have my sister, she's on here live right now, Shakina, and she's like, you're just awesome. She calls me, I'll just say it, she calls me super bitch. Like you're always doing something. So she's like, you're like a superhero. And she like always pump me up and encourage me. So it's like people like that. I have people like Rob Hosma in my life that's always encouraging me. I mean, he literally calls me first lady when he speaks to me, but always encouraging me, always, validating me, helping me feel like my thoughts are important or my feelings are important. And there's just these people that you're building, you're building a new soul family with. Now, 2020 was an amazingly intense year where some people committed suicide. There's a lot of people I need to stop saying kind of. There's people giving up. And I don't want you to give up. I don't want to give up. We cannot give up. We have to keep living this life and making it the best life. And the encouragement that we get from others, we need to recognize it and be grateful for it. So I just wanted to start out with gratitude by just being grateful to certain people in my life. There's so many of you guys that really are powerful from the past and from the present. And we have these deep, meaningful conversations with people. Try to say like, oh, you meet people on Facebook, it's like no big deal, or they're not your real friends. When we've all been going through a lot, we have been an amazing support system for each other. Even Makiba helped me through a situation. I was in a domestic violence situation, and Makiba had to ride with me, and she had to literally help me escape a situation. So when I say, we're building a soul family, a family of people that we love and we trust, and that we're gonna move on to an amazing future together. So the first thing that we want to establish is go ahead and make a list of people that you're grateful for. People who give you little encouragements. It's funny because you make a post on Facebook, you actually live for the likes. Now, of course, that's not going to make your whole life, but it does mean something when you see somebody make a statement and you agree with it and you like it, or you show them love and you show them tenderness and respect. There's a lot of keyboard bullies out there, people who got nothing but mean things to say when you're just speaking your mind and you're speaking your truth. So when you are there to support each other like this, it's needed. I have serious conversations in my inbox with people. We need it. And, we're showing love to one another. And so what I wrote was every shard of a broken heart healed is a gift from our soul family that we have built over the years. Some are here and some are gone, but we will be forever grateful. But most importantly, we are forever changed because of it. So I wanted to just start with that. I'm going to share the screen now because thank you. You should get on camera one day and say that. Like, so in this March, there's going to be lots of things happening. Like Rob and I are planning some retreats and some nature retreats and soul retreats and just things for people. But the first one, Shalom, I am light. She is a beautiful person that's really just opening the eyes of so many people, because we can be so judgmental. We grow up a certain way and we have certain beliefs, and we can become very stuffy and very judgmental and very separate. But we're all being affected by things, and we cannot afford to ignore the law of one. We, if you are hurt, I am hurt. Doesn't it? Don't you, we understand that, right? Because if I'm outside and I'm hurt, when somebody says hello to me, maybe I say something evil back, or maybe I snub them, and now I'm passing on my hurt. We pass on hurt to each other. And so it's an amazing time. Some of us are healed, some of us are healing. Well, we're always growing. And so in the spring solstice, we're going to be doing in Galveston, Texas, from the 19th to the 22nd, a healing event for the divine feminine. There's going to be so much Reiki, yoga. It's going to be a vegetarian, vegan weekend. There's a chef. We have Captain Kirk. He's the love alchemist. Angel Bella. She's amazing. She's an airbender, waterbender. She has amazing talents. Shahil does amazing body healing. And Cardell is going to be the chef, and the mistress of ceremonies will be Miss Shalom, I am light. And for myself, I'll be there to talk about vision. And I might do some other classes by then, but my focus then will be financial vision, vision boards. And vision boards, they're not the map, they're just a guide, they're just a guide. So that's what we're gonna be doing. It's gonna be amazing. The event is on Eventbrite, but it's also on the Square site. So there's a Square site, and we'll be able to share that at the bottom of the post. So let's just start with it. Everything in our life starts with a vision. Vision is something is very important to us. Even a blind man still can have vision. I mean, I watched that show. I'll turn this off. It's not The Science of Getting Rich, but Think and Grow Rich, the movie. There was a blind man on that show. He owned 30 TV stations. How does a blind man own 30 TV stations? It's amazing. So being blind isn't even an excuse for not having a vision. You got to address the mindset where most people are right now. And people are not just living in fear, but most people, they tiptoe through life hoping to make it safely to the grave. When you start out as a child, you're like, I want to be Spider-Man, I want to be Superman. And we spend our whole life being knocked down and shoved down, like, no, you can't do this. No, that's too much. You can't do that. And so we've ended up being squeezed into these very small minds or these very small imagination and losing our vision for life because we keep getting told that we can't do and we can't do. And when I look at this, most people tiptoe through life trying to make it safely to the grave. Look at it. There's so many people who's like, well, I don't want to cause problems. I don't want to make trouble. I don't want to make waves. Well, I don't want to upset anybody. A lot of people are just living such a small life because they don't want to make any waves. But we need to live a life full of waves. We need some adventure. We need to, really, really open our minds up to what we can do with our lives. Now, what is a vision board? Like I said, it's not the map. It's not this perfect map, but it's a tool. A vision board is just a tool to clarify and help you, decide what you want and, help you concentrate on your goals. It starts off, it could be a big old board. I have a giant board. Let me see, stop sharing. Like I made this board. This board was for kids. You know, it could be a little board like this. It could be the Post-it notes that you put on your mirror in your car. You know, my big thing is don't wait for some exhaustive class or some huge fancy board to get yourself started. Everything starts with writing it down. And it's just a tool. So to just see how vision is embedded in us, there's some colloquialism. I'm going to ask you guys to unmute yourself, anybody who wants to speak, because I'm going to ask some questions and I need some feedback. I want you to fill in the blank on these colloquialisms if you can. Anybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Finish this for me. Out of sight, out of
Mind.
Mind.
right? That's something you hear every day. Do you think about vision when you think about this? Do you really think about vision? You know, have you ever had a notebook when you were younger and you doodled down all the things that you really wanted out of life or goals, like I'm gonna marry so-and-so and I'm gonna drive
Yeah.
go to this school. And you look at that notebook 10, 15 years later, you like, I don't know who wrote that. Because it wasn't there in your face. You forgot all about it. You become like a whole different person. What you see is
What you get.
right. So if you don't see anything, what are you going to get?
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Seeing is
Believing.
that's right. Because if you can't see it in your mind, how are you going to believe it?
That's right.
So really absorb that. If I can't see it in my mind, if I see myself with a new Lexus or I see myself with a new life, I see myself with a new fit body, then now I can believe it. But if I, you know, and it's so funny, Rob and I were talking today, we're constantly talking about when we say, I can't believe it. I was like, man, we got to stop saying that. We got to start saying, I believe it. I came, I saw.
I went.
Close.
I conquer.
Conquer. Oh, right.
Because if you can see it, you can conquer it. I came, I saw, and I
conquered it.
It's funny, these little tiny colloquialisms that we say or that are surrounded by us. Normally, it's also vidi vidi vici. That's what it's, I think that's the Latin, is vidi vidi vici. But it's important. Vision is important. Keep your eyes on
The prize.
Eyes.
And it's so super for a vision board. You got your prize is what you want right there. You got to keep your eyes on the prize. And I'm going to explain why that's so important. So vision boards, there's two components to this. There's the left brain and the right brain. Left brain is completely different. This is stimulated by words and statements. The right brain is stimulated by pictures. So guess what? If you have your vision board and you put words on the board and you put pictures on the board, what do you think you're doing? You're making your left and right brain merge and work together and more powerful. You're stimulating more parts of your brain. It's beautiful. So you can see with this, the left brain is all math, logic, you know, it's black and white. And on the right brain, it's creativity, it's love, it's nurturing, and it's color, it's creativity. Now, what are the parts of the vision board? You can make a vision board as an entrepreneur, you can make a vision board. Maybe you want to make a vision board just for clients. But when you're going to do your personal life, there's 9 squares that I like to help people use to bring it all together for you. It's actually a feng shui, the color, you know, of the board. Sometimes we actually put different colors on the board to stimulate certain parts of your brain. There is actually a thing called color therapy and feng shui, and this is how this works. So one goal, one section is your wealth or income goals. Could be what you want to make annually, could be, you know, a big project where you want a big lump sum. Then there's a reputation goal. This is actually a goal I love to do every year. One year, I wanted to be known as an author. And then that year, I helped publish 3 books. One year, I decided I am the First Lady Erica. And let me tell you, I live it. I get called that. People call me literally and text me and say, hey, First Lady, you know? So I actually chose what my reputation was. Now, maybe your reputation isn't a title. Maybe you want to be known as, you know, a father figure to more people, or maybe you want to be known as a person who is honest and just. Whatever it is that you want people to know you as, it's important to establish that, because as you live your day-to-day life, you're going to establish that, is this something that represents who I am? Is this does this represent my reputation? Is this who I am? Now, then there's relationship and partner goals, but then there's love and family. There's also health and fitness. That could be your food, you know, dietary, whatever. But also know that there's mental and physical health. Then there's creativity, hobbies, or things that you want to do with your children. And then spiritual wisdom. What am I going to work on spiritually? Then there's education. Maybe you own a business and maybe you want to take a class to help you with your business, or maybe there's a degree that you would like to get just because that's something you wanted to do. Maybe it's just a class you want to take just for personal enhancement. And then last in the corner over there is travel. So this, you want to be complete. So when I do vision boards with people, I don't want you to just be like, oh, I want to be rich and, have these open-ended goals. We need real goals. And I feel like actually sitting down and writing those goals down is more important than cutting and pasting and doing pictures. Because when I do my classes, we like to do some soul work and really dig deeper and ask why you want these goals. But I'm not going to get into all that, give away my secrets. But, I like to give extensive worksheets to what you call agitate, to really dig and find out where your heart and your mind is. And sometimes maybe you need some help digging deeper on why the goals are important. Because if the goals aren't important, if you don't have a deep rooted reason why, then you don't have a reason to do it. So we got to dig down and find out why these things are important. So now here's some do's and don'ts. You don't want to overcrowd your board with a whole bunch of items in one spot. You want one clear goal per square. Now, if you achieve that goal, of course, you can swap it out and put a new one, but you want clarity. This is actually a mental map that you're building, okay? So, and it's good to have small goals. Everything doesn't have to be huge and monumental. A small goal helps you build this muscle inside of you that says I can do it. So if you do have a small goal, it lets you know you can do it. And then it builds your faith. It's a faith builder. So, and then get it right in your face. Don't put it in a room that you're not going to go in every day. Don't put it in the living room when that's the room with the plastic on the couch. Don't put it in there. You want to put it somewhere intimate to you. Like I said, you got small ones. You can put it on your mirror, put it in your car. You can put it in your bedroom. Now, one thing about it, you want to look at it in the morning and you want to look at it at night. When you set up yourself this way to look at your board in the morning, as you go out, those little mental antennas that you have, those mental antennas start to connect. Because your mind is focused on it, you've put it out into the universe, and now the universe is trying to connect you with what you want. Maybe you'll go to the grocery store and you overhear a conversation about a new job or a new class or whatever it is that you want. Your mind is now open to it because why? You set your mind on this in the morning, and your conscious mind, your subconscious mind and your superconscious mind will surprise you because they're working even when you don't know it, okay? That's the same thing about looking at the board when you go to sleep at night. When you're going to sleep at night, you will start to have dreams about it. You will start to have visions about it. You will have daydreams about it because you're starting to program your mind on what you want. Your mind will become creative. The universe will become creative and help you find the things that you want. Now, next, avoid the noid. I don't know if anybody knows the Noid. I'm big on TV. Back, I just was raised with the television. The Noid was that little cartoon character from Domino's Pizza, and he would make your pizza cold if you didn't get it within 30 minutes or less. So the Noid, the Noid will destroy your dreams. So you want to kill that. You don't want to wait too long. You don't want to wait for a fancy supplies to make a bowl. You don't want to wait for a special class or a party to go ahead and start writing things down and getting these things in your mind. Oops. Someone's trying to join. Yeesh. Share. Let me see. Sorry to interrupt you all. Okay, we got it. So get these things down on. Some of our dreams go right down the drain when we're in the shower. So you don't want to wait. You want to write things down. Don't wait for someone to challenge you. Don't wait for someone to join you. It's like if you had to, if you ever tried to go to the gym and you're like, well, if somebody goes with me, if somebody has to go with you, you'll never go. So don't depend too much on other people. Don't let time pass between you and your vision. You gotta nail this. You gotta really write these things down, and you really gotta put some action behind it. Now, there's a thing called a whammy. I don't know if you remember that show. What was the name of that show with the whammy? I can't remember. He was so funny. So if the whammy came, if you took too much time, the whammy would like totally mess up and take your money away. He was awesome. I love that show. But kill the negative thoughts that bounce around in your mind. There's an exercise you could do as soon as you say, man, I really want to lose 20 pounds. And then there's this little thing that rises up in your brain. It's like, heck no, you're not going to lose 20 pounds. You've been fat for 20 years, or you've been fat all this time. Nothing you can do about it. And you write that negative thought down on paper. And you ball it up and you throw it away. That's a physical thing you could do, but it actually helps you mentally connect that this negative thing, I've taken it out of my mind. You can also call it like a wrecking ball, because those little wrecking balls, they'll come and they'll totally smash all your good ideas. And sometimes other people will smash your ideas, but a lot of times we do it to ourselves before anybody else can even step in, Now, dream it, plan it, do it. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan, and a plan backed by action makes your dreams come true. Can anybody agree with that? Anybody disagree with that? Plenty of times you hear people say, I used to work with a young lady and she said, oh, I wish I had $1 million, but she never had a plan. She had some action, but she never had an organized plan with steps on how to do it. Sometimes you might need to get advice. Not just put on a vision board, but how do you go that next step to hold yourself accountable? Maybe you need a coach. Maybe you need a teacher. Maybe you need some extra training, something that'll help you. Just throwing it on a board is not going to make it happen. It's not, pure magic. It's a plan. It's a guide.
Right.
Now, what are you going to do about it? You got to take some action steps. Now your mind is open to the action steps. Your yucky thoughts are gone. You don't know exactly what you need, but you got some ideas. The ideas will come. You'll write them down. Now you go do it. You gotta act. It doesn't matter what you think about, dream about, or do. Let me tell you, I had a movie in my brain since 2009. And I started writing on that movie. My sister knows because I write, it's like, I got this idea for this movie. And when you write those things down, it's like, well, what are you going to do with it? So maybe if I had went to someone who was a script writer, they could help me with it. And then, now or they can help me film it. I have to go and put some actions into it. It's not enough to just think it in my mind. So now you've started doing it and you started accomplishing things. Maybe you took the trip that you wanted. You know, maybe you got that paycheck that you were really waiting for, and you're like, I got that raise, I got that promotion, I took that class. Collect all that stuff, make a scrapbook. Now you actually have physical evidence of everything that you accomplished. It's beautiful. This is another faith builder for you. Something that you can show yourself that says, you know what, I am a go-getter, you know? This is one of my favorite poems, and I heard this from a beautiful woman at the company that I was working at. But it's just beautiful. Now listen to this. It says, I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at the evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is just an employer. He gives you what you ask. But once you have set the wage, why, you must bear the task. I worked for a menial hire only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life, life would have surely paid. A lot of us aren't asking much out of life. We set our goals so low. And at the end, you don't want to be laying there at your time and just wondering if I had only took a chance, if I had only tried, if I really had set out, what if I wrote that book, or, what if I started this school, or, what if? You do not want to be wondering what if, and then watching other people around us achieve those goals, So there will be, an online vision board class. It's called Vision Boards with Power and Purpose. It comes with a book. It's a wonderful class. Honestly, we really get into some one-on-one, and it can get pretty emotional. I've never really had a class where somebody didn't cry, honestly, because I go by the spirit. And when the spirit moved me to talk about something, boy, it's always something somebody needed, And we get the vibing and we get the loving up in there, and we get the healing up in there. So that's what I love about the class. I love doing that. I'm going to open up. Anybody can open up their mic. If there's a slide you'd like to go back to, or a question or a comment, did something stand out to you? Did it impact you in any way? Just open up your mic and let me know.
Hey, Erica, this is Daryl.
Hey, Daryl.
How's it going?
Super. It's been such a long time.
Yeah.
Vibe, man.
Yeah. So a question about the vision board. You were saying, like, put it in a place where you see it in the morning and at night before you go to bed. Would you recommend having your vision board out where any and everybody can see it, or is that something you just want to keep private?
I think that's a wonderful question. Now, number one, I usually tell people in your bedroom, you're going to your bed, right? So you don't want to put it up too high, because that's also a psychological effect on you. You wouldn't believe it, but if you put the vision board up too high, it tells you that the goal is out of reach. Okay. If you put the board too low, if you put your board on the ground or too low, it actually sends a message to your brain that this is beneath you. So wherever you put your board, you want it eye level. Now, if you're around supportive people who love you, why shouldn't they be able to see your board? Even if you were in your office space, if you put your board up there, I mean, you might have a hater or something, but who knows, it might encourage somebody else. So I don't really think there's a limit. I believe you can put, the small boards with just writing, maybe in your car, maybe the one with pictures in your bedroom,
Okay.
On your mirror, look at it as much as you can, if you can. It's kind of like if you had an affirmation. And one of the things that I usually talk about in my classes, I had got to myself where I think they call it a mantra, where I would say, every day with God is greater than the day before. Every day with God is greater than the day before. And I noticed that my days started to get better because I had it in my heart, I had it in my head. And so you want it in your head, you want it in your heart.
Okay.
So, anybody else?
Oh, yeah. I got it unmuted. Yeah, I agree with you. With everything you were saying about trying to find a way, even though you have to reach out and find a coach, or even just tell somebody that you're planning or you want to do this and not waiting. I think I'm one of the biggest procrastinators in the world, or that I know. So I think it would be, that's a very useful thing to start doing.
Right. If you really want to get something done, go find a professional that's already done it. And the amazing thing, this is my sister on here. This is a person who, if you want something done, if you even mention a problem or a goal, this is a person who will be like, okay, let's write a list, and then we're gonna call it. And so, we can be so powerful and so, motivated when we're doing something for somebody else. And it's amazing how we can neglect ourselves. And then some people can become resentful of that. Like, I did this for this person, I did that, and but then they didn't get a chance to do it for themselves, and that's what we have to do. We have to really take ourselves to the next level. And you're a person that does so much for other people, but maybe the things you want, the people around you aren't able to really give back to you. So you actually might have to find a coach or a professional, someone, doing a buddy system, even a life coach or something where that person can help you along the way and actually give you some accountability. Accountability will make things happen, because you would hate to have your accountability partner and they call you the next day and be like, did you do X, Y, Z? And you're like, no. And then, second or third day of you not doing it, it's going to get old, that's going to put a fire under your butt. And anybody else?
Yeah, nobody likes to be shamed
Sure
or
don't like.
embarrassed. And it's like,
I don't like to be shamed. I remember I went to the army and I was like, I cannot quit, because I can't tell everybody I went to the army and in the middle of training I quit. Oh no, I can't tell somebody I took a class and I failed or I quit. Especially when you start telling people what you're doing. Oh my God, that pride is going to be your biggest accountability.
yeah, yeah.
Sure is. Any more questions out there? Let me see. I'm going to check on Facebook Live while you guys are talking or while you're thinking about it.
I think.
It doesn't look like we have any comments online. Oh, there goes Shalom. Shalom's already tagged us. Masculine, feminine. She's got the link on there for the retreat. All right. She just ordered her cork board. Boy, that cork board is something else. We just went to the thrift store and got a cork board with the calendar and then another whiteboard and stuff. We're about to start writing down a whole lot of stuff. We're going to get some stuff done this year. This January has gone, and everybody's been watching. That's another thing that was going on this last year is people have been canceling plans based on what's been going on the news and what's been going on in politics. And that's a big old no. People waiting for things to happen. You can never really live your life that way. You have to go ahead and set your dates and your goals regardless of what's happening around you. I had a friend of mine and they canceled the class because something was supposed to happen and that thing didn't happen. And here we canceled a whole class. It was going to be a beautiful class that she was given. And the thing that you were waiting for didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't plan around disasters and riots and what's going on. We can't plan around that stuff. You gotta set your goal and just go for it. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't put anything off based on these things.
Hey, Erica, this is Daryl. First Lady Erica, this is Daryl again.
Hey.
You mentioned to look at it in the morning and look at it before you go to bed. Are there any recommendations as far as how to put your mind in a certain space to look at the vision board for a certain amount of time, just not glance at it and move on? Do you want to just have like peace and quiet around you? And how what would you recommend for that?
Don't give yourself any rules.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, people make these rules even with meditation and stuff. And we were just having this conversation today, like sometimes you can do an online meditation, right? And then, you know, sometimes you can do the meditation. They say, oh, but don't put your feet on the floor and cross your legs like this. And it's like, you know what? The universe and your creator are so powerful. They don't need you to put one finger on your nose, one finger like this. You don't have to rub your belly at the same time and stand on one foot to make things happen. It is not like that. Your super conscious, your subconscious mind are so powerful. Maybe you just have a moment. Maybe you got 30 seconds. Put it in your brain. Do the 30 seconds, because if you start saying, I got to do this for 10 minutes, and then you're like, oh no, now you frustrate yourself because you didn't have 10 minutes. Right. So
Okay.
now you created your own stumbling block because you didn't get you know what I mean? I like to say it's that hero's journey when you give yourself all these obstacles and you know, I've done this in the past for myself too. You set up roadblocks for yourself and punishments. You know, because that's something I grew up with, was these little punishments. Well,
Right.
you didn't do this, so I'm not going to give you that. You didn't do this, so you're not going to get that. And we've set ourselves up to start doing these little weird things to ourselves to punish ourselves, and it don't work like that.
I like that. You said a hero's journey. You set these little obstacles up, and you got
Yeah,
to. Yeah, I like that.
I gotta go. You know, I gotta crawl across the living room floor, and then I gotta light the stove, and then I gotta plant a flag. You know, we make up these things that we got. You know, it's not complicated.
Right.
And you know what? I mean, you should think of that in every area of your life, because we're constantly punishing ourselves and pushing our goals away from ourselves as if we don't deserve things. When we do, you deserve it. The big guy loves you. He wouldn't have put you here if he didn't. And you're allowed. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yep. So anything else out there? I mean, we talk about this hero's journey all the time, boy, I'm telling you. Because we just place obstacles, you know. I gotta, and that's the thing too, when you do the vision board, it's like, so you didn't do the class yet? You think you can't write it down because you didn't take the class, or, you know, you didn't buy, I didn't buy the book. So it's like all these obstacles. No, just get started. Get started. And when you can take a class, it's awesome to have the class because you get some enlightenment, you get somebody to help you dig deeper, you know, and that's the kind of coach I am. Because if you tell me what your goal is, I'm going to ask you why, and then I'm going to need a reason why. And then I'm going to dig into why is this so important? Who does it affect? How does it help? Who does it hurt? And so I help you dig into why the goal is important. Because if you don't have a why, then you won't get it done. So then I guess we can wrap up if nobody else has anything else.
I want to say something.
Okay.
Hi guys. So one of the things that I've noticed for me, writing has been the best way to actually manifest. So I have a journal, but usually, or you can list them down, whatever you want. But I think writing and actually saying it out loud is two other pieces that I want to actually share with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
As the vision board to manifest. So just FYI.
Most definitely. And that's why we said before, I love this quote, so I'm going to put it back on the screen. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal broken down into steps becomes a plan, and a plan backed up by action makes your dreams come true. And so when we actually do the class, you get worksheets, and there's worksheets because you break it down into 90 days and then 45 days. Like you break it down.
It's not gonna work.
Oh, So you break it down, and when you write things down, amazing. I mean, I keep constantly writing things down on post-it notes and things like that. I have to like gather them up because then I get them and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that says the same thing as that, you know. So
You're right.
mhm. Yeah, and plus, writing things down, it triggers memory. You could try to like, yeah, I don't know if you ever, when I was taking in film school, I would take notes instead of actually writing them down. I started taking pictures of them. But then sometimes, when do you ever go back to to look at the picture? Sometimes. So, but when you write it, it actually becomes committed to memory, and that's something during business, during seminars that I learned that writing it down commits it to memory. It really does. It's you're programming yourself. These things about looking at it on a daily basis, writing it down, visualizing, you're programming yourself. You know, that's why commercials have songs, pictures, and words because they're programming you, right? So
Right.
now it's time for you to go take the time to program yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yes, most definitely. So I think, 50 minutes, this is cool because this is usually just a little 20-minute overview. We got a link for the retreat down there. I'll put a link for the book down there. You can always reach out to me. And when we actually switch to the online version of the class, then now, let me know if you're interested in the online version of the class, and I'll be sure to help you get it. Or we can do a live too, because it doesn't have to necessarily just be the recorded version, but doing a live class, I'm open for that too, because I feel like actually being able to respond to people's questions is important. So, and one thing about me too is when we're doing a class, I never like to rush people. I like for you to dig first. All the pictures and stuff and the pretty stuff, that stuff comes later. It's really about getting into the heart and the mind and making a connection with what is it that you really want. And that's what most people, they have a superficial answer or superficial thoughts of what they want. And then they go to a vision board class and it's a beautiful picture. It's beautiful, but then none of the goals are achieved because really, did you really make a connection?
Mm-hmm.
It's just something superficial, just a pretty little board.
I think it probably just requires a lot of thought. You really have to look at yourself and what it is that you truly want.
Mm-hmm.
And like that like they used to say, oh, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do and there's a lot of things because
I used to be so
I guess
irritated.
maybe at our ages, and I'm assuming none of us are children, there are so many different things on our plate. So we got to have visions for ourselves. We got to have visions for our kids. We got to have visions for our jobs. We got to, if you got a pet, where is my pet going to be when I go on my cruise or what? You have so many things that you're juggling, and it does help to put it out there and start your children on doing it. So they can, we're building people. And one thing that it's not big in our community is dreaming, planning for something, for success. We're often like our first, like the first things that we eat or the first sustenance that we get, and I'm not talking about food, is a lot of negativity from our families or the people around us or our community. And even by they're thinking that they're in the process of trying to protect us so much that they beat us down and they kind of put you with blinders on. So you never think, and you never think that I can do or I will do. And I don't want to say like everybody, but there are a lot of people who don't have any type of positivity,
Right.
who don't ever, I can honestly say I never really dreamed about doing anything. I never ever thought that I could ever do anything. I never thought I was really smart. I never had anybody to tell me that stuff. And I had to kind of go out into the world and like, okay, you can do, you can be, and while you're building yourself, you can help build somebody else or a system or let them know or something. So I think this is key. This is like a good stepping stone for a lot of people who don't think like that. And there are people that we know that are like that, who, only thing they know is that they want to get to a certain point. They wanted to get, if they were young people, they wanted to get a job in a factory. You wanted to get married, you wanted to buy a house, and that was pretty much it. You never thought about having a business. You never thought about anything like that. You never thought about starting any type of nonprofit. You never thought about, building, being an activist in your community. You never thought about becoming, if you're into becoming a politician. You didn't think about that. The majority of people from our community. So I think that dreaming and trying to find a way to build our futures, even though, this group of people, I'm assuming we're all of the certain age, we still want to see ourselves be in a certain way, a certain place. If we're still working, we want to retire. If we want to retire, I want to put that on my vision board, that I want to retire in Aruba, or I want to go on a vacation to, New Mexico. I want to do anything. God, I'm talking a whole lot. Nobody said anything. I'll be quiet.
You know what I was thinking is amazing, because fear is built in. Fear is given. Fear is passed down. We have to learn that.
Right.
We're taught to be in fear. And
You
she
know.
knows, this is my sister, she knows, they used to tell us, don't touch, what was it, a pressure cooker?
The pressure cooker.
Well over 40, I have never touched a pressure cooker in my life, because my mom always said, if you touch it, it's gonna blow up. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to touch it. So I never
I had
even-
a huge fear, and that should make no sense, because how you gonna do your collard greens, or your food? Yeah, I just got over that.
Fears are built in and passed on. And yeah, we're not taught to dream. There's so much not taught in school. Dreaming is one of them. Critical thinking, planning.
So you think we don't dream because we don't think we're worthy? We don't think we deserve it?
I
So-
think it's fed to us. Like they tell you, I remember my brothers, and I don't want to make this, they tell you, oh, you better not do that. And I know that they're protecting you. Like often they had their dreams squashed. Their parents had their dreams squashed. And because they're just trying to, you just have to be able to survive. If you do this, you're gonna be good. They just had a set up to survive. But I forgot what they call it when all your basic needs are met. Now what do you do?
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Right. And so once you have that, you got food every day, right? You got clothes, decent clothes. You got clothes to work in, you got clothes to socialize and play in. All your kids have food, everybody's safe, you got a roof over your head. Now what you going to do with the rest of your time? You may think that, oh well, you don't may not have any plans. You might just want to watch football, or
Right.
not,
Just
but
doing the regular things that other people are doing. You kind of join society as a herd. Like I said, most people tiptoe safely to the grave.
right.
You don't want to make waves. You don't want to cause problems. You don't want to stress people out. We're so busy, let's trying to be a part of the herd that, you don't learn to dream big and go ahead and think something different. This last year has told you, if you think something different, we're kicking you out. Okay? You're not a part of us because we're against you because you're doing or thinking something different. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this, Daryl. A young man came to me and he said, we made the remote control and we made this. And he was talking about Black people made this. I said, you know what? Stop saying we, because the guy who made the remote control, let me tell you, his friends was probably like, man, you crazy, man. You always working on something. Why you don't come hang out with us? You know what I mean? He was probably ostracized for being a person who was constantly working on doing something different. Start a business and see what happens. And people were like, wasn't your job getting good enough? Why do you just don't get another job, man? Businesses, man, that's hard, man. That's too risky. This is what you try to think or do different. So no, we're not taught to dream. Go ahead and try to dream and see who don't laugh at you and call you crazy, or you know what I mean? You have to be around dreamers to dream. So what we're doing is creating an environment for ourselves to make it comfortable to do that. But that's not 90% of society is not telling you to dream. They telling you to just get a good job, just work hard. That is what we've been taught.
And we're
taught to get a job and work hard.
They caused us to have a limited view of what success is. If you're a man, to be able to have a job. You know what? I don't want to say it like that because I'm a woman. So I ask Daryl to say what he was taught, what was success, and was he encouraged to dream?
You're even taught as a woman not to expect much out of your own marriage. Oh well,
Right.
he came home at night. He paying the bills. What you want? You know what I'm saying?
Or better yet, even not to even give him credit for that. That all men ain't S, and that's not fair because you cannot classify all men because there are good and bad people. So there's no all bad of anything or all good of anything. To
Yeah, I
even
grew up in
say
a house.
that is
Go
so
ahead.
unfair. And the thing is that they were taught that mess. Why? Because basically, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to go too deep. But I'm just going to say this is that it was the place of the slave masters. And I want you to know straight up, I am not anti anybody, but I do understand that, our community was subjugated and that they kept women in their place and kept the men in a lower place, and they didn't want us to want to elevate our men to a certain, a certain level, a certain area. And it's unfair that they're at a disadvantage. And sometimes even when we're trying to call ourselves being there for our men or trying to help our men, we still find a way to break them down. And it's so sad that we have that, a lot of that in us, that we still, we're still trying to do it, or, I don't know how to put it. I don't know.
But Daryl, you were saying you were brought up in a household.
Yeah, I was going to comment on her last statement. Was I heard a little joke where a man was in the garage and he had this great idea to do something. It just came to him all of a sudden, and he was excited. And then when his wife came home, he said, "Honey, I got this great idea that's gonna make us million." And she said, "What you need to do is go clean the garage up." So what she did, she shot him down.
Shut him down.
And then when she shot him down, he stopped dreaming, and he stopped telling her stuff.
Right.
So he got to the point where he just kept quiet and wouldn't tell anything.
Right.
And he stopped dreaming.
Do you guys know why it's like that? Honestly speaking, do you guys understand why it's like that? The reason why it's like that, because me and my girlfriends were just having this conversation. And the conversation was, okay, because I'm not completely American, I'm Haitian American. So my mom and father is from Haiti, and I'm from America. And the reason why is because, number one, a lot of people still have slave mentality.
Right.
So they figured if they can't do it unless it's given to them. That's number one. Number two is that a lot of people are surrounded by people that are not okay with maneuvering higher. I had a friend tell me recently, "Oh, girl, you need to stop dreaming about your dreams. What you need to do is just get a regular job." And I explained to her, I've had a regular job majority of my life. I've been also a business owner. So yes, sometimes it requires for you to have a regular job to get where you need to get. But at the same time, my dream don't stop there, because I don't want to get caught up with working and paying their bills when I could work and put 200% into my own. Because I've worked for a company before where I swore I was good, like totally good. I was giving that company 1,000% of me. And when it came down to them letting me go for somebody else's life, guess who got let go? I did. And then when I got let go, 3 months later, they were asking me to come back because it was their mistake and I declined. So a lot of people, a lot of Black people have this mentality of, well, why should I when it's easy? A lot of people don't want to work for it. Being an entrepreneur was one of the hardest and the best thing I've ever done. Now, granted, I'm recirculating back into working for somebody, but when I was working for myself, it was a pleasure. A lot of people don't want to see you get where you need to go. That's another thing. Why would you do good when I'm still scuffling? I'm still working a 9 to 5, but you wake up anytime you want to go to work. They don't want to see that. They want you to be like them. And when you try to be higher than them in their mind, you're trying to be higher than them, you become a problem. That's how you know who's for you and who's against you.
Mhm.
So a lot of people just don't have that mentality. Another thing was me and my girlfriends were talking. I told them they were like, oh, you know, Black people are crabs in a barrel. I'm like, I don't know. I said, because my luck, honestly speaking, has been with white people. And I know a lot of people don't like hearing that. And the reason why is because I've met a lot of white people that seen the fire in me and go, oh, girl, let me show you how to do this. Let me explain you how to do that. Let me teach you how to do this. When I approach a Black person about, oh, you're doing this, show me. Oh, you're doing this. Let's figure out how we could do this together. Oh, girl, I'm gonna have to pray to God to see if God give me a sign. Oh, no, girl, you don't want to do this. Those same positions that they told me I shouldn't have done was the one I mastered. So a lot of people just don't want to see you to have growth. They're okay for you being just where they are. And they're comfortable getting up in the morning and going, oh, okay, I got to clock in. I'm not a clock in type of girl. So because I'm not a clock in type of girl, even though right now I'm really looking into getting a regular job and also starting my own thing. But that's just something that's in me. A lot of people don't have that fire. As soon as their friends say, oh, no, you shouldn't, they fall back. With me, on the other hand, tell me no. I'm going to prove to you what yes look like. I just don't play. And a lot of people just not like that. So that's what me and my girlfriends were talking about recently.
I'm excited about having you on this call. You hit so many nails. It was crazy. And everyone went right through. It's the absolute truth. And one of my, and that was it, tiptoeing. That's why they're tiptoeing safely through to the grave, because people have had their dreams destroyed and they're like, oh no, I don't want to cause no problems. And they're tiptoeing and they just want to make it to the grave, but we cannot do this. We cannot live this. But it even hit me even more. And Shalom, you're going to trip. I know it. Because this takes me back to the whiz. It takes me back to the whiz. And I'm going to play it for y'all. This is so funny. I'm going to play the whiz because when Michael Jackson is the scarecrow, they tell him, you can't win. You can't get over. You can't get out of the game. And this is what is happening. People do this to each other.
I gotta sing that thing again. You gotta look ready till you get it.
Girl, you know this shit make me mad when I watch it.
You can't win. You can't make even, and you can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are gonna change, but they look just like they're staying the same. You can way over your head, and you only got yourself to blame. You can win, child. You can't break even. You can't get out of the game.
That is 1979 or 1980, somewhere 1983, 1979. That movie is telling you life. And it hit so many points. That's why we did that whole listening party for that movie. It was amazing, the music. There's another song, and it's the song where the colors change, and they talk about that you can't let anybody know your cover's bare because you spent 2 weeks' pay on your hair. It's on fire. It is relevant and it's on fire and it's telling you the truth. If you pay attention to the words of those songs, I listen to the words over and over again. I love that freaking movie. That man said, if I could look inside myself and like who I see, that's what the Tin Man said. Man, you guys do, you'll have to go on your own and watch it, but this is what we're talking about. Living living the life to the fullest, being able to dream, doing things that other people aren't do, because you're going to have to do some things that you've never done to get some things that other people can't have. They can't have it because they can't be you. They can't walk this walk. And no one can walk this walk for you. You got to get out here and you got to visualize it. Now, we talk about manifestation as we go into this healing and these healing retreats. Well, the biggest thing that you have to do when you meditate is visualize. Because if you can't see it, you can't believe it. If you can't,
You know, the imagination is the seat of is the throne of God. That's the imagination. The imagination is the seat of the soul and the throne of God. And when we stop dreaming, we deny ourselves of the power that the infinite universe, God, has placed within us. That's our blueprint. I can remember since I was like 4 or 5 years old, when I came to awareness of myself as a human being in this life, that I had a dream. I didn't know exactly how I was going to get there. I didn't know exactly the path that my life was going to take to accomplish this goal, but I never stopped dreaming. I never stopped thinking about it. And that's what drives me every single day that I get up, is because I understand that there's been a song singing in my heart since I can remember. And I can't stop it from playing. And it's not meant to stop playing. It's meant to carry me. The notes and the melodies and the spaces in between the notes are, the purpose of it is to carry me to what I've always dreamed of. And sometimes we might not, if you can't visualize it in your mind, imagine how it would feel to live it. Imagine how it will feel in your heart to be engulfed and encapsulated in that dream. You may not have a clear vision of it, but if you can feel that shit, yeah, that's everything. Because the universe is going to do whatever it has to do to rearrange your whole world, your whole life, to get you that feeling, to match that feeling. You know what I'm saying? And we live in it. Erica and I, we've been working together for how long, sis? And it's like, since we connected, it's been like the unfolding of those visions, the unfolding of those dreams. And we don't know exactly how they're going to look out and pan out or how they're going to happen necessarily, but we take steps. We were like, okay, let's do these retreats. Let's do these lives. Let's do these shows. Let's talk to people. Let's engage people and stuff like that. Hey, at one point or another, the tide is going to carry you in one direction. But if you don't give yourself the opportunity to experience something and see if it doesn't resonate with you or not, you're just going to stay stuck in the what ifs. You know, we're not doing that. 2021 is going to be too transformative for people's lives to just sit there and be like, what the what ifs? We've lived half our lives talking about what if. It's time to live for yourself. It's time to live for that song and that melody that is playing in your heart. It's not going to get quiet. It's going to get louder and louder and louder. And if you're ignoring it, you're going to get more frustrated and frustrated and frustrated with yourself. So you might as well just go ahead and drop all that other stuff that's not in resonance with that song and follow that song, follow that tune.
Yeah. This whole thing just gave me chills. So, yeah, because this is our first time talking, and I'm just so glad you came on the call and gave us your thoughts. And Daryl, I'm glad you participated. Love my sister. That's a person I want to see everybody fly. I want to see people fly. And, I've seen the one comedian, and she said, whenever she asked her friend, like, how do you start a business? And how do you do? She said, well, girl, I had to pray. And girl, the Lord this, the Lord answers. But, everything costs a penny. And that's why the first thing when we started this, I start with gratitude. Number two, you got to pay it forward. If you want the universe to give endlessly abounding a bounty to you, you have to also give to others. And that doesn't mean holding people down. It means helping them fly as well. So that's what this new community is about. That's what this whole thing is about. It's time for us to stop with this old way of thinking and this old system of things. It's time to put that in the garbage, and it's time to live this new life moving forward. Abundance doesn't come with a closed hand. So we need to help each other. And then too, if you really want something, invest in yourself. Invest in a class, invest in a retreat. I've taken several classes at once. I join groups and take classes and get to meet, I'm in a group with the ladies in the UK, and yeah, I didn't mind spending money to be in a group to, learn to further express myself or to learn to, communicate with other people and for that opportunity to network with a whole different people from France and the UK and Australia that I would never get to talk to. And it's been a tremendous growing experience. So, don't be afraid to invest in yourself. And, even if something doesn't come of that one thing like today, there's the law of compensation. Whatever you put out, whatever work you do, whether it me doing something for you or me doing something for myself, I might not see it exactly today, even though we do know things are about to start manifesting way faster. But that law of compensation works. What I put here, I might give to Shakina, but maybe it gives back to me. I might give to Shalom, but maybe Makiva gives back to me. So this is how the universe works,
Yep, the law of
Reciprocity
reciprocity.
and the law of compensation. I love them. That's kind of why the whole ozone thing was started. Was I wanted to talk to people about their business to help them. And of course, I know God's going to give back to me in return. I don't have to be stingy. I don't have to be cheap.
Yep.
A lot of us are cheap with ourselves.
That's how you get more blessings, though.
Right.
One thing I've been blessed with is that any knowledge I get, I tell everybody I'm a walking thesaurus. I'm a walking dictionary. If you want to know something, not only most likely I know it, if I don't know it, I would research it. So because of that, like you'll see me cut up on Facebook, but it'll be like I'm on sometime and then I'm gone. I'm not much of a TV watcher, so the only thing I can do is look up silly and stupid information that comes in hand for everybody else. So like I have a girlfriend of mine, and she's in the process of trying to start a phlebotomy company. I had one. So what I've been doing is telling her this is what to do, this is what to do, who to contact. If she get confused, she comes back to me and she asks me. I've met other women that because I've been a phlebotomist forever.
That must be
So,
how we know each other.
Huh?
What if that's how we know each other?
I have no idea. Probably in a group, God knows. Because people request me, I just go, okay. It doesn't make me know, never mind. Because all I do is BS on Facebook anyway.
Until
So
they start trying to get married and get a green card.
no, I don't have to worry about that because my family's from the island. Unless you American, I don't fool with you anyway. So I just make my life
heavy.
so. But yeah, so whatever information I get, I give to people. I was a supervisor at Quest Diagnostic, and every time a person come to me, they either had a sob story or blah, blah, blah. But one thing I've always noticed is that they came to me when they needed something and I provided that information. Every time I bless somebody, I got blessings back. It doesn't always be financial. It could be like something was about to happen and then it was blocked. Or, just stuff in that era, or a vision comes about. Just stuff like that. I left Quest Diagnostic not only because my doctor was telling me to, and I don't know where y'all are spiritually, it's because God told me quit this job. It's gonna kill you. I left Quest unknowing what direction I was gonna go to, and I was making decent money. Not knowing whichever I was gonna go to. Right before the pandemic hit, I got hit with a contract where I was pulling $1,000 a week. So I was doing good, you know, and even then, after that, I was still doing good until God stopped everything. So my blessings were number one, I'm not gonna say I'm financially good. I'm not gonna say that right now. What I can't say is I got a roof over my head and I'm okay. My kids are alive. My kids are a blessing. My you know, like I said, God don't always give you stuff, material stuff. But I got a 19-year-old that's about to be done with college, who's going to grad school in 20, what year is it? 21, 22. My 19-year-old, she graduate this year. I have a 22, gonna be 22-year-old who not only worked, but he started his business, his own business, and he's doing great. So, you know, we might not see the material part, but God have a way, the higher mighty have a way of blessing us with not the tangible, but what makes sense in our lives. And to me, that makes sense. I guess because of that, I'm just usually like, okay, whichever direction you need me to go, God, I'm good. And with me maneuvering like that, doors just open. It just might not make sense what kind of doors open, because right now I feel like I'm in a hallway. I have no idea what's up, what's down, what's going around. I'm just maneuvering. Whenever he tell me to move, I move. Whenever he tell me to sit still, even though I'm a fiddle diddle person, I sit still because I can't control nothing. The blessings comes from him, her, or whatever. So I just make it easy on me. This is just me. I'm talking about me. And like I said, but all those came from anytime somebody asks me something, I didn't have the hush mouth. I didn't have the I'm gonna have to pray on it. No, I provided the information. What's the point of having information if you keeping it within? I ain't never understood that. That was the most stupidest stuff I've seen, especially within the Christian community, that it disgusts me. Because we're supposed to be able to help our brothers and sisters. How am I helping you if I'm keeping everything within me?
You actually destroying yourself when you keep it in you.
Yeah, that too.
You know what? I always wonder about that sometimes. Like you're saying, like you have the gift, like you are what you call a community asset, because there are people who know how to do stuff that will not help, who will not tell, who do not share. And then you have, I don't want to say it. I just know this person that she always, it's always something. Oh, you can do this, you can do that. But if you ask her, she never knows anything. And I sometimes I wonder, it's like, I just wondered to myself, I was like, do you just not, is this real? Is this, because some people like to get your nose open and, or get you enthralled in whatever it is and then still just like disappoint you. So I feel like, I don't understand it. I know whatever I know. And my sister can tell you one thing about me is that I'm a A to Z person. When I try to tell you something, if I'm helping you or I'm telling you something, if it's a story, it's A to Z. If it's a way to do anything, it's A to Z. And I like for people to give me things like that too. Inform me completely, A through Z. So, and I just wonder, like, I don't know. I get what you're saying. Thank you for being a community asset, by the way.
That's a good title.
Like that.
That's a good title. That's your reputation is community asset, or like I like to say for myself, a conduit. It's a conduit. You pass the current through. And like you said, you don't see it in dollars, but you do see abundance in your life.
Yeah.
It does not necessarily mean, a dollar sign. It means, there's wealth in what you're building. So this has been amazing. So I definitely wasn't expecting all this, but this is great feedback, and we're building a community. So that's what can we say? Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up because that was we're over an hour now, and it was beautiful. We're gonna do a live tomorrow. We're gonna interview Dawn, the angel goddess. Let me go back to this. flyer. We're gonna interview Dawn on tomorrow. Shalom and I will interview the Ankh Angel. And then Saturday at 8, we'll also do Captain Kirk Norton. He is the love alchemist. I'm really excited and interested in seeing what he has to say.
He be hitting. He be hitting.
I can't wait to see what he's all about, the love alchemist. Man, I'm ready. That's all I can say is I never heard of love alchemy. So some love happen because we got some love, but anything we can do to make love better, hey, let's try it.
Yeah, I know, right? He like the Cupid and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm excited. And I love to see men out here as healers. Because women, we got a lot to say, but it's nice to see fellas out there doing it, teaching. And men, I got somebody saying men here. Like, it's real funny about words. Don't say boy now. Woo, Jesus. Give them credit. These men, we got to give these men credit. The divine masculine, we need to raise up this divine masculine and allow, they keep on talking about toxic masculinity, but not all masculinity is toxic. Jesus. So allow men to be men and, allow them to love and teach. And I'm excited. So we'll see you all.
Work.
Oh, Jesus, yes. And express themselves fully, to fully be able to express themselves. So tomorrow at 8, we'll be talking to Angel Ankh Bella, and then Saturday we'll do Captain Kirk or Captain Norton. So looking forward to that. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing now. And I'll go ahead and stop the live, stop recording.